Hello everybody, my name is Face. We're going to be testing out Ikitursa in the T5 Firestorm Abyss. I'm testing it out mainly to improve my skills, hone my skills, perfect myself, and be able to use the Ikitursa smoothly in the T5 Firestorms, because Firestorm filaments, I've mentioned this so many times, are so great because of the cheap filament cost and the good loot. And I often do T4s because of this, but T5s is also a step higher, you get even more loot and it's still very cheap filament. And the Ikitursa is a pretty decent ship for Firestorm Abyss. T6, not so much because there's just too much, the DPS is not enough, but it's a really tanky ship, very good capacitor. So I think it's a very good ship for at least T5 Firestorm Abyss. Now I want to make sure that I'm good at flying it, because I mean if I'm not flying it well enough, then the time is not going to be going too well, and that's the main thing I want to get better at. Now, I'm using this fit right here. It is a bit on the expensive type, 2.1 billion ISK, plus full high-grade Asclepian implant plots. And then I'm using full high-grade Asclepian implant plots right here, so pretty expensive, but it could be a bit cheaper if I were to opt out of this assault damage control right here. The reason I've got an assault damage control is to reduce the likelihood of dying to ganks. Ganks, people want to kill you with high DPS weaponry in high sec. This is just in case that happens, it reduces the likelihood, because I can activate this, get 98k EHP, so maybe it's a little bit more likely that they won't be able to kill us. Still possible that they can kill us, but less likely. Especially when I'm doing something as dumb as running in G2 right here. It's maybe not the smartest of ideas, but I'm doing it anyway because I feel like it. So we're going to go in. I've got some ideas for also some alterations to this fit right here, potentially using a gecko in the future. But I first just want to in general just master being able to use this fit right here. But I think using a gecko might be a good option because it'll make using the drones a bit more simpler. Okay, let's get closer right here. What we can use is the Mystic, the long range on these small guys. Devoted Hunters probably. Smith is Newt, I believe. Yeah. Whatever we can lock in, really. I made a slight change compared to my previous use of this fit right here. The one rig was swapped out, actually. And that was instead of using the auxiliary nano pump, I used the two nanobot accelerators. So before I had a nanobot accelerator and an auxiliary nano pump. Now I just got two nanobot accelerators because you actually get a tiny bit more HP per second, but it's also because we've got only one armor repair, and since we've got one armor repair, the cycle time is going to be a little bit slow, so it just makes it that we can get a more constant stream of armor repair cycle. But it's also because it uses a bit more capacitor than nanobot accelerator. It makes basically the cycle time shorter, but we're tankier than before, but we have a little bit worse capacitor. And I'm alright with that because we have so much capacity since we've got dual large cam batteries right here. So I thought that it's just good because we get a more constant armor repair rate, we get a bit more armor repair rate, and we've got the capacity to spare to be able to sacrifice them. If you're using a dual rep style Ikitursa, it's going to be a different situation because then you've got not as much capacity to spare. Okay, let's go for this Devoted Knight over here. Keep at range, 10 kilometers probably is what we want to keep at. Blitz him to death with Occult right here, 400 DPS, not so a whole lot, but it's going to spool up in due time. Let's lock up these Smiths so we're getting neutered, but it's alright. So we've got 28 gigajoules to spare. If we turn off these armor repairs for our drones, then it'll be even more. Let's deploy the medium drones, get a bit of extra DPS out here. I just worry about them getting popped because these Sancha apply pretty good. With the 550 DPS, okay. Approach this guy right. Keep at range 10 kilometers. No problem whatsoever with the tank. We're a really tanky boy right here. And it's got a really good resist profile for the Abyss with really high thermal resist, high explosive resist. Just in general, the Ikitursa is so well equipped for the Abyss apart from its weapon, which is not so great. I wish that it was able to have the DPS or application of Aguila and the tanker that it has. It's just an amazing ship for the tank. Okay, we're going to go to the buy adaptive cache over here. Great. Okay, good. Just want to keep an eye on the drone aggro because if we lose a Hammerhead, it's permanently reduced DPS. Oof, that went fast right there. Webifier. Spaceship, take him out. Knock him out. He's very close, that's why we're not able to hit properly. If we can just get a volley on him. If we keep range a bit, maybe we can just start. It was silly that I stopped spooling up right there, but I wanted to just get the loot real quick. We should be able to hit now that he's a bit further away. Yeah, look at that damage right there. Great. If we're just at the border of web range, it's like perfect range because we'll be able to apply because Ikitursa just naturally has pretty good application. Probably want to recall our drones right here because they're going to be taking a lot of damage. Maybe we want to attack this guy over here, who I webbed mistakenly. Let's go Torchbearer. Super easy to take these guys out, these little frigates. Yeah, if we just far enough for web range, then it's basically just like perfect application. There's no problem whatsoever applying to them. And the time is also pretty decent. What is the resist penalty right here? 70%. Okay, it's not that it's not a best case scenario. Well, it is a best case scenario for the DPS. It's not a best case scenario for testing. Because if it was minus 50%, it would be better for testing. Because that's going to be a bit harder for us since we do thermal damage. Deploy the hammerheads. Now, I really would like to have a gecko. Because a gecko is one drone. Takes up all the drone bandwidth. There's 5 medium drones. It's shield based, so it recharges. And we could have 2 remote shield boosters on just the gecko. So we don't have to worry about mixing and matching remote shield boosters on drones. We just repair that boy all the time. As soon as he takes critical damage, which will rarely happen, we recall him. Otherwise, we will have a very good time with using that drone. The gecko is super strong. Okay, take out this devoted torchbearer, and now this guy right here. Okay, recall drones. Mystic. Okay, all drones accounted for. Let's go. Next room. What is here? We've got a Marshal the Sparrow Troop. A pretty... it can be pretty tough. Not for the Ikitursa though. Deploy some drones. We want to keep the drones away actually, because the Evening Com are going to pop them to pieces. Yeah, you see that? Look at that. Absolutely shattered by the Vorton projectors. Arrest the Marshal. Go with Occult right here, since they just want to get in range close. I think they got Tachyon Cloud or something like that. Let's go for this guy. Arrest the Marshal. Go for all these cruisers over here. Webifier them a bit. I do not think this is a good, safe environment for drones, unfortunately. But we wrecked them anyway, so it's okay. And you know, we always have that Azul damage control if we were to ever need it. We can just pop it, get a 10-second vulnerability, or 10.8 seconds, because we've got the Shadow Serpentis, which gives us that 0.8 extra seconds over the Tech 2. And it's also a bit easier to fit. Raging Firestorm, decent, but not so good otherwise. Nice to see you getting some filaments, not the filaments we want though. Raging Firestorm is hardly worth anything. One of the cheapest filaments you can get in the T4 range. It is the cheapest filament, actually, for T4. Take out Market Pacifier Sparrow Troop. Market Enforcer now. You can actually go for the Skybreaker. Skybreaker Sparrow Troop. Destroy that guy. Oh, and a big volley. Just one more. Destroyed. Okay. Let's go for these. We've got these Stormbringers over here. They should go down really fast because we'll have enough time to spool up a little bit on them. Not a whole lot, but we'll spool up a little bit on them. Martial waves in general, they do take very little time to do, but they're very explosive waves because they do a lot of damage. So go quick, but they also can end quick for you as well if you get overwhelming incoming DPS. Here it was pretty easy. We didn't have so many marshals, so it's not such a big, not such a dangerous wave. Okay, we're going to keep range from this guy. We're getting a bit too close. We're having transversal not be that optimal right here. There we go. A wrecking shot of 3.5k. Oof, that was nice to see. Keep a range 10 kilometers. Spool up a bit. And time needs to be alright. I mean, it can be better if considering it's a martial room, but it's alright. We will 100% survive with this kind of time. And we can keep a range 10 kilometers from this guy actually, just so we can improve the transversal a bit. Because we're just getting grazing shots right now. Could be that he's an attacking cloud, maybe? Maybe. Come on, why am I getting so many grazing shots? He's barely moving. Okay, he is moving faster. He's in a tachyon cloud. He is in a tachyon cloud. Glances off. Let's just web him. Make it a bit easier to hit. Enforce a Disparate Troop. Almost 5-minute average now. There we go, just above 5-minute average, in fact. Or below. Okay, next wave. What have we got here? That's unfortunate to see battered up Hammerhead right there, but we could actually do a bit of more repairs right now. Deploy them. We can even go for an extraction though, because we've got time to spare. Because we've got rogue drone waves. Rogue drone wave, super easy. We can lock up now our little drone over here. Pop this guy real quick. Oh no, why? How? No, drones, no, just getting absolutely annihilated. Annihilated, they're getting the full out. I lost my whole flight of medium drones. That is absolutely crazy. No, that's so... Oh no. It's just a silly thing where you deploy drones early. It's such a dumb thing to do, deploying your drones early. Because what happens is that there's a probability or a risk of having it that they're going to all just... The full wave is going to target your drones. That's what they did right here. Rogue drones apply really good. No joke. Hammerheads, weak drones by default. We've got unbonus hammerheads, not any HP bonuses like a Gila does. They just went. We lost like 10 million right there. That's so stupid. So dumb. I was just thinking, okay, I'm going to repair the drone. But instead, I was not even intending on having them go away. They auto-aggressed, or I just, out of habit, told them to engage. I just deployed them really because I wanted to repair them. I didn't even really want to use them to attack because rogue drones are pretty easy to take out in an Ikitursa. Grab that. Occult. Pull a bit of range right here so we can actually apply decently. It should be alright. Is there any extraction node over there? Yeah, there's an extraction node over there we can get. It's pretty close. I'll go to this one. That's behind this asteroid over there. Move up a little bit. Unlock that up. We're not applying anything. These damn rogue drones destroying my drones, and then I can't even hit them. They're sneaky, these guys. Pop. Well, that's what I want to see. Like one shot. That's what I want to see. Don't have this like 10 shots to get just one shot. It's like missing all the time. That's good. That's the stuff I want to see. 9 million extra. Just like, you know, casual 9 mil extra, you know? It's alright. Can we even... We do have enough time to go to this one right here? We could maybe go to this one right here. We could perhaps go to this one. Because the T5 extraction nodes can give quite a bit of risk, especially T6. Just in general, when you go high tier, you find really... After T4... T3, especially T4 and up, I think it's worth to go for the extraction nodes. But T3 and below, it just doesn't feel worth it. T3 sometimes. Depends on what you're using. If you're doing a filament that's very expensive, it could be good to go for the extraction nodes to get the most out of the filament. But even then, T3 filaments are not that expensive. T4s, they're quite expensive, so it's good to be very filament efficient. And Ikitursa is a pretty quick ship, not super quick, but not slow like a typical heavy assault cruiser. Popped. Okay, go for this extraction. No, not extraction, this strike. Tesla. Let's go for that. It's great. We're just like pulsing our armor repair, and we're at 75% capacitor. This ship has an absolute beast capacitor by default. Then you put 2 large cam batteries. It's no joke right here. Okay, we'll put Mystic in here. Load up some Mystic. Go for that plate forge over there. And we go on pre-web. And then go for the occult right there. 1.2k volley. Nice to see. And that's just, it's not even like spooled up. That's just initial damage. It's just because the application is pretty good on this ship. It's not like Gila drones, which 10 million. It's not like Gila drones, they're just going to hit now and then. Okay, Webify this guy. And now for the Abyss escalation to see if we get any gankers right here. Do we have gankers? Do we not have gankers? It's yet to find out. Get to the origin conduit. You see, we get like 10 million, 10 million, 10 million for these extraction nodes. 30 million basically from these 3 extraction nodes right here. It's a lot of extra ISK you get from doing the extraction nodes. 75 million, decent. Just a quick 75 million ISK, you know? Just a quick, minus the 10 million from the drones. It's very, very sad actually. So dumb. This is why I feel like I want to use the gecko. I mean, if the gecko died off, that would have not been a nice thing. I have to be a lot more careful if I'm going to use a gecko. But the gecko would have a lot more survivability as well. But it was just fun how they just destroyed every single one. No survivors. They just had enough time before even recalling them. They just obliterated every single one. Let's go for the plate forger. Let's go to the origin conduit. Great. So we took a bit more than 5 minutes on this room right here, but that's just because I knew that I had a lot of time to spare. I just went for all the extraction nodes, otherwise we would have completed a lot earlier. So let's see, what have we got here? What have we got here? No gankers, no gankers. Great to see, great to see. Let's see how much was the value, much the value of the casualties were. We had Federation Navy hammerheads right there. Oh, that was a lot actually. 12.9 million. It's like just like that, just lost it just like that. It's just in a split second, really. But what we're going to do here is probably see if we can find a gecko fit for this, and then we'll see a gecko getting lost as well next to it. But I think there'll be more potential of using the drones actually reliably from using a gecko. We'll see, we'll see. But T5 Abyss Ikitursa, a really great ship to use in the T5 Abyss, at least in my test so far. I mean, I think that you are safest in terms of time to use 3 damage modules. I'm using only 2. I am, however, using abyssal damage radiation sinks or damage modules right here. So it's providing more DPS than a typical Tech 2 entropic radiation sink. But that's it for now. T5 Firestorm Ikitursa. A brutal ship and an aggressive ship. A pretty good looking ship as well. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.